Titambian, he didn't compromise. None of landing, so or catch him so call and them so on there. Or he'll have cost time or day chrono.
I know it's here, sir, brand, you know. Ubusan says that special person, you know. I know it's here, time speculation, you know. A chance, yeah.
Mamumine, Omayan Yibia. Aba Monchana, dear, Momayan farm Rosani, Sue, Quadre, what a man can they? Ah, I was here. Very sad. Ayamia and Mitie Macramoa. It gives me a lot of medication about Abrabo Livu. Man never is. Indeed, man made a perfect song for his own funeral. Macramo. Yinim a year past 2 days. That was Saturday. The heartbreaking, shocking news you receive ever. Your papa, Charles Pejo Fusu, aka Daddy Lumba, wakone nsamanchi. Abusia, Ghana nyina isu, Ghana nyina ediareho. Yenko na yenkuti Daddy Fred na oyobia okana ho pa Daddy Fred oneno share a lot of coordinate cordial relationship more working on enyom. Even his last words or katreno before when huni biwa ene your papa wakrano yinti sama Daddy Fred editu edwa we need FM one Mark Jerry yakoba petros
Udo Momunka Sankwa Umbijay. It mean me too, apart from not Tantai her, maybe I'll cut them Kuhun Finia up to now, maybe I'll tell revenue. Because Bibiana, maybe I was a show, DLFM. Or dear Shawn in Yemina. Oh, what's a city to Bibiana? Utanhunu in Nipum, sir, had the crowd of being in Mano. I may kind say on the 27th of September 2017. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Kanda Bunguman. Eba Ghana ha. Global Media Alliance for a concert be. Na me no fabachi di Daddy Lumba na kana Bunguman. Nti Daddy be fa be say I can Fred avenue. The same ni kana Bunguman ko bon na so agidin. E me penyim cheme. Come and produce me for that music. To be yi crofo a Ghana ha mo sa no de pa. The boy you tell the Prince. Amatsamo jan enyom on na nebo man Prince. Ena keyboard any bass in Tafumi Nubu, your friend Steve, Omoa, and I'm from other people. Habiba, and so two, you be Eddie Boy. Tia Koyano Banquet Ho, then the Ukrainian Minum, Daddy Lumba and Nigia Pa. Taking some in the mind in ye, who said South Africa company we buy from Umoja. So back on one. So go stage ya. Don't mean say almost tape yet sell it to Phoebe, Callis. No, that it at certain positions. Certain positions near baby or mobile gina. It won't be in fact on Uncle Baby. It's your position, any man banquet or one, my tape, more on trap qua. The mic, and I say it will go and pick and give a feedback. It will hire no ujina. The same video, no, and once about Sembi. I am a man for 2 seconds. So now, Koba could be named so I call Musan Wabu, said they, Ojan also Lumba 9. Oh, say Giniso. And opinion and I'm for hey, Daddy Lumba now, or I'm for Tiska at their bonona, or they deny bomb. And to cram a tragic on say, men and producers say, show mano. But video evidence, it is never true, say, or they can't go to now, Abubia, God consort the night. And the proximity of baby and I see any a form of a crazy. And also a performance will hear concentration.
Yes.
So to me, any earpiece, and I send the monitors away.
Yes.
So when we say Yenby, he can rely on us. I can Fred, to me, Genechi. The BM the Sierra so Vim no. So the Ayajuma. And I last our Tara Sutaba on the 15th of October.
Ivorian leader. No?
That's right, 4 years of the Accra Conference Center. We start organizing the same concert in Ibimano. It when he was going to perform, whenever, saving from Uncle Bicrano, true Roman father, over Freddy, you say Coca Cobo, you Micklin Hotel, okay, but I say Micklin home. ye petem the petem no sound we be this space it won't me end till to say be out here do kwada mo inye monitor mo ma bi but so mo ni bi dia wo fa bi emfem ben so be ya betimi ato ho you must say technical directions ni nyina me roman for the technical na fe ibi kwa man ko bi kwa na okọ so na no be busumi eni be na otwe mienu ni kofodua na omo ye hotel bi wo capital bi say capital hotel
capital bi na wasibi aka
mo nti wo kono frɛ me kaje to frɛ bi kofodua no so okay kofodua no it's an enclave of the mountains na sound na ne homafo nim so wo ye sound na bro science ya na bro science ya e ko bounce kwa na sa ba ho a ya ha it get say so ya na ye sound there be kofodua ho mountains so obi a ho na ye ni nya mo hwɛ the direction a on the speakers no e be see udi see a so we program Independence Square na ko pe ho asem e di kosi be bia so jeri ni kutatuo no so wo a kire po no a wa nkata wo betumi na po akon
edi be yo
enframa na gi enwum ni nyina dia ko awonja bi kra di so mo boy na ogira osu amusie ho no a wo te nyon no kra yie ken se do gina Independence Square ho no ko enua na ho ni job 600 no na nyina gi
achi nwum na gina ho
Titambia he didn't compromise. Na no call landing so o ka chem so call landing so on there. O hwe ho courses ni time o dey kro no. Because there summer time we no woman ni nyina. Na the last time me share ni. The console dey adwuma we bi. O DLFM say. Uncle Freddy me da so me to me yo. The Roman father no ano sama no frɛ no. Na me koto console ni me yi ni nyina. Na me hye me say tuning sound we we. Me you say what's up man fight.
A day for you.
That's a day for you man. And yeah, what they say kutu say bam.
Lawyer Kwame Jan or say what he yiribo fruit there. Ebeye de papa. Na bo fruit so na ni che wato bi kura wo ye fe say asalam da nti lawyer gusu na me kan say mansam sikaje so ya no e no baby say wara.
Enti ofa yanke bia nhyem na no memeda. No nsia ejakra. If you ada say na ana ko giwa di kakra ko diti live man ni bia ni. Be da no pa be ko akefera tasema ba na so be esu ni awu mi nua be Daddy Lumba no so how be bo so mi nua me ka say me say so awu na ofa munti ha ye me mistake bi tamwa every case wo ye no bi janu sun be around be 4:30 na news me nya na me ya ti ahopre mu no we did kind of to social media obra na the busu afọ kra enyanko ho the same mistake me here say me nya bi mu da because ana bibia no say me twonye ma on Facebook people feel say it's authenticated say ya boss so is so stamp
the mistake no and ma recent time a brand here on ne nante a o kan say instead of be live band no obe ye say obebo mime nti na ode Andy Dusty and ode ne ko and na Andy so kire say onya information no and no call trusted friend who ma trusted no can say oh wa be fie kura da nti ma Andy be can say enya no kure and na turning up say as Andy so den e can throw no but it appears to say also we are careful and at that time na nipa kro no nye prepared say obema Andy ehunu say ampa okọ so no because all circumstances na enye bibia na ye kan saa keke nti Andy so ebe pa
che me nye free ho no na me say okay no problem you want to make it darling make it darling frame me Uncle Fred say na about out and say na me say make it but ma obi anko engo tro bibia ye nya na nya formal you free the frame me nya authentic socks no free friends of Daddy Lumba do dia you me friend ya appear very good journalist let me friend no be around be 9 see how esi me nua aka baby so fa I say mo me so mate but from source na me tie ne de e be no kre na so okay no mo bia enko tronsa it is no so call the page ya otron say Daddy Lumba the greatest of all time
no trust akeke
so okay to train no because back to his page to look said that be no post Daddy Lumba
the greatest of all time no
that is asem yes ni asem be so see about 1 o'clock pepe and then the DJ friend DJ Hitman
Hitman
the friend ran o soon of our akwaja o why don't say no maybe I do need
the time ko deal no the final comments no ko deal no my yentie because boy Hitman the time you can Hitman no cause hey akwa we necessary the wa family no can comment be about Hitman no it yenhwe time ko deal no that was yentie asemo kan ya obo hitman obo mia made nyina Roman father obo ne din ono so yentie tatama okọ ne hono no
ebu na ne mo aba be kan ya na yempo ye ninda because say you benya obi like Nana Joa na you benya Makra you benya Roman father na you benya Miami Doyo the silver lady na enyumre so na fi DJ Hotman so Hitman
yeah
or Hot to me
The best station in the capital.
wow
DJ I'm proud of you enyame nko a na the mesan mehu ne say mo starting Magana for omu hu bibi foforo
wow
mon keep sa ahode na amode ahase na me gidi say enkoye anim no awurade kan ye ho a yenso ba bi esese ye da bia ye beda me da mo asese mo aba na me mamo akwa aba mo nyina ediba DLFM ebi ane ne mama ha efri ne ko mama ha bi mbanana makra mo me de sa na mete
right on asema okaye on say oko deal no so tie say makramo na hwe we say wo makramo no mu na hwe time wa set ade na up awie so na two things ya hwe speculation about Lumba any anu a etia sa brand here no obusa who says that special person no anu no etie ya hwe time speculation no e shas ye eba Lumba so
years ago Daddy Lumba ono ankasa ne ho kani bia na one ne wo ho enya ne yiri ye one ne wo ho ye o ne ho kani na one ne wo hansa no ne yiri we eba be wo ho no ne yire ne poison na nko wo ku no
just listen to this na fe tieta ma Lumba na ankasa no ne last performance no asema o kan ya asifua mame say wa oyi ni free speculation tan way and then you know da ho keka sansam no yentie ne last performance no asem o kan ya oyi oba ni free sa ayi entwanto so tan na betwa wo free hefa obi ayam pento ama obi te nipa a chese what social media so no na ubeka say chese abranti we no em say Ghana ha say ma pa na yabo na wuto sa pa sene sa abranti we
no otwam otwam
I say
Daddy Lumba wune ochina obi kan say be several years ago from Sunday bi so buy e ba pepem say ono so eso
ma yentie obi so dia otetete won ne nsama na okeka obi so dia otete won ne nsama na so keka ahomete okay
Charles asiso Lumba na gasa bukapo yale Lumba o se si amluka say adake di ne to adake mu no enya ne ketwa se gun of traditionalists far and no good for man that Lumba ya on Charles asiso bad news ebe hit Ghana
so no se aden ede na ma na nkrofo bo na wuto sa aden why dey
we don't talk about your issue so to other we can just wu na
ana o shedam mu ana onya chance enko chireche mu nchiro bia
sasa so see friend so people di ewo yi so ansa na be chireche na ate obi kura excuse so to ogo yi wa no say dem obi yi wa no then pa kro no akotwa no kro obi on tie
enti show foreigner ya ka kwantum so no na tie ensam a ne maame ka kire ne se onye no mra fie because that time na or the cassette no brand maame a na the maame ne high taxi na maame no e de akotrek that time taxi driver no drive maame no your friend no yakwasi eboa nti yakwasi eboa na de maame ne be kotrek so ti na maame ne free say sa talent na wa demonstrate no omra fie so no ti ensam a ye yaka kwantu no nipa edi kan ba ye no ensam a ye keka de fa wo mo ho no whether a man gina painting so beba na say o ma we first album no na obo ne maame ni dis wa twene nkra so mra eye antikone no eye comfort jamfi ne maame no but on se fie ni ntino amesa na na
wonu say identity autonomy you know who say setana east and west Germany na obeka ya ti 1990 no
Berlin war no
yes in bu no
yes
setana mo akodi drone bi na ade ni nya na ye obi wa na ye mo ba
so hono
ti 1990 no na fe na ye bebubu German war na ansa na freedom
ana war kantine ni maame atun ka se be ya ja na bra
because that news na yetete no
na yetete na chese nkoyi tata na me asempani na mo London na ye gina on ye hwe na de ya wo mu anansa ye prophetic o se Ernest Champon by na Ernest by was say yakoso ye se wa na yira sifu ababa we ono so by to ahuno ansa na wo mo ka ho no kokusoro ntonom ne ade obobo mu din no na dia na yamfa anya wo mo because me kai papa say Bra Jones and to him aba Bra Jones na woni ni nua ba akomo ba ye na wo ne nam kro from Mr. Ebu aho na face that time no mo de pimpinis wo ma twetwe na wo mo de Mr. Broni so by and wo mo de 140J the 140J no be buy no na that's 140J na just say run atomic to Mr. Dr. Mensa na just say aben wo twama square dwani na just one more bedru anesa but enche bia na bomu say na afede fuck me fuck bi o ya ne ho asa enti sa fear no fear of the unknown and abranti what they can say we you
asemo
wa matia brochire no dodo say na ehu bi wo mu say na me ba ha say ya metimi atena na
because that time no so be kan ya revolution in the afe na ye consultative assembly ya ye dey be turn into the democracy tina man no so aye say ni
ye say ye fen say ye hoafo bi na ye hoafo ye chi wo mo ye bu wo mo mia menua ba ye akoso yago na ye ne fie ni nana ni nana mi pese mbo nana ni din ufri aye kwa brese fie so a na wakọ antwa ma fie so na wakọ efia na aye akoso yago etimo na kro from so ahono na awurade na yesi ya buru nkrofo na ye hoafo bi dwade gosi fie o edu got 2 houses away na fie sapon ho na sa fie ne na kwabena je Japan na ne papa etie wo sa line so wudru baptist for no awutan right no abrosan kese na ho no so
mo de kwa yi Japan for na me no Royal International
right ho na kwabena je ko
e dormitory before na no ko fancy
kwabena je na wa ben papa ko Royal it in fact actually buna 2 p.m. and kwabena je obey the major announcement say obestani be wo ye pen say a ring road central here we call him police station we call to kwabena je o yeminua ti o say me kona me kokot na che na o ye library prefect to be your call fancy school be anubusa ne say be a library prefect as you saying
they be no the free Royal International so no time on the top class I'm some time common international I'm some top here they go oh sir na aja and no and na afi yemra metie ankwanoma say na kan you say aja yini kan tie west no no ankasa kan no yini kan tie west na ono ankasa kan so hunu na wo hwese ankwanoma na hwe obi de sa no ma ketu obi de sa abobonua na abobonua yi woodpecker na wodo na no pempeng so let's obusuani ni eye woodpecker no a de ne be
so we ensema yura eye papa eye Daddy Fred mfanche mi Daddy Fred any Magarian so omukafa Charles Kojufusu eye Daddy Lumba na we are say you will be a can asembasi ya obia ebe making adwin se wasesa no but dipa ayi free kakra bi ba then we forget about what happened na yasan yakofa na yɛasan akɔfa yɛn suban ne yɛn nneyɛe na ɛwɔ mu a na ɛnyi no. But wode yɛn tie yɛwura Daddy Lumba kɔ yi, obiara bɛka asɛm, obiara bɛtumi anu ne ho, obiara de n'abrabɔ believe sɛ Christ. But short period ayɛ the moment yɛbɛyɛ papa no yɛwie bɛkete n'akyi a yɛbɛyi yɛ adwene firi so na yɛasan aba abrabɔ dadaa no a sɛbi na ɛnyi no mu. July ɛyɛ month bi a ɔman Ghana ɛyɛ na yɛnte asɛm pa. Professor Moss ewu 24th of July 2012 ana meboa. Ɛna legendly Charles Kojofosu nso ɔno nso watumi afiri mu on the 26th of July 2025. And it is really sad. Mugabe Mercy Edison be atodwa afa ho. Any other related matters. Samsona Mustapha Bandi, a Deputy General Secretary, and also a Director of Operations Deputy Director of Operations at Jubilee House. What I say? Na me pese ebeko idikenti Mugabe iwia na Mustapha Bandi nso ensemo de to aso no na ye de ono nso ato amoso. At this time there mega meraho aya kwe nipa edu baby a refre hom se bia so den hom na manipa asen akote bia eni kwanse okum yinti nsemi bi ekoba ibeto aso.
Anu obu pushe mo ana mukomo ho everyday ni pewu uku ni pa de na wonya firim school for kwala na boni be no maye say school for kwala ketenkete boni be no maye aba enough is enough ya bramo enough is enough mesi ya bramo nonsense is too much and this year toilet is nonsense ni biem sika baya sano from the previous administration ebesi na anya sam ketwa adan aba adan every day ni say sika ni the soldier for ko ni the police for ko ni ekumbi adan Ghana ya mko amodia Ghana eye mko amodia kwada te classroom si ade pe ni ekun kwada too nonsense. And now they have extended it to Kumasi. Very soon, about hitting other areas. Ban all the registered motorbikes. Yes. The man in charge, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, when you be on Yabetewu. Baby, I was here more that 24 hours. Yama Omona. Woman, your mother say, Womubesi Yansa, no more Dembraya Juma, Yama Omona. We should allow them to sleep. Nonsense here too much in our system. Killing each other all the time. Why? The Kusasis and the Mampugus. Why? Abba. It's what to make us in game. 1 2 2 another day. 1 20 pa another day. It is too much. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm worried seriously. Sakwada yenim dia obaba be ye wa brabom. No classroom ni atoa na yakobo no tuako no. What is that? Aba. Obiti ni fie ni atoa na yakobo no tuako no. Wo kobo to no kun no. Wo mu bia na. Wo tell me asesa. Where is that the Lumba today? Taskojo for so away. Atame so away. And the President Kofo. Look at the whole President Kofo. Wako mampo hine yino. Nipa beye nai ene ne kura ne mu. Ni afa ne the giant. You're very careful, especially with the youth. You're very careful. IGP have visited Asante region. Asanwasi.
My good brothers and sisters in Asanwase, Abba, dear Nakoso, dear Niakoso, Mumia Bonta for de dodo, Mumia Bonta for de dodo, Mumia Bonta for de dodo, Abba, and a zongo phone, Adai, Abba, Adai. What you're playing in the audio, no, where you're penny ba, Nansuni soon in the binding in the near, Monsieur Mahama. Where you be a person, Monsieur Jamahama. Makuma, Sauno, and you're too much. Abba Kuni Ajadian, Ukunia Ajadian. Wakobody to pay, Wakwatasi Kodidi. Do a treat to a Kunipano, Wu Tuano. One day, Usubeshi Audie. A word to a wise. Fantastic. Yare IGP visit here. Odi kopiemo ewa samasene sema odi tuja.
Has to be resolved in both two tracks by using community engagement and also reinforcing security in this vicinity to reassure the people that the police are capable with other sister security agencies to maintain law and order. And the perpetrators of these heinous crimes, we want to reassure the general public that the police will go on all manhunt to get them and then to let them face the full rigors of the law. We have commenced a lot of engagements with Muslim communities, the Zongo communities in Accra, Tema, and some environs where we are de-escalating this situation that we are confronted with. In Kumasi here too, the regional commander has been tasked by the Inspector General of Police to also engage with these communities to de-escalate the situation. We haven't ended our visitation to the crime scenes. We personally, led by the Inspector General of Police, are going to patrol and form part of the patrol system for this night to ensure that our personnel who have been deployed are fully prepared and appropriately attired to perform this duty. And we're also concerned of their welfare. We've informed them that they must present the proper posture and enforce the decisions of the Regional Security Council, where do not allow pylon riders in town. People who wear the smoke of fugu will also be thoroughly searched. All bikes that are not registered will be impounded and sent to the regional headquarters. So we want to ensure that and there would not be motorbikes will not be allowed after 7 p.m. So these are decisions of the Regional Security Council based on their assessments, and therefore we, the police service, will enforce all these decisions of the Regional Security Council.
Very well. Not just a year Inspector General of Police on any team kopiemo a year Asanwase in the Ashanti region of the Republic of Ghana, live on TVS, YZ, and also on Power 97.9 FM. This is your number one political talk show in Ghana, Inside Politics. Here to Aswa, na ye to Aso ni ako a year opinion Director of Legal Affairs Edema Endi Samoni Kono San, Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, a NP in the lawyer Eduji Tamaklo, and also and some Ecoso. Ewo Boku ene Ashanti region or the nano atumbi says I say no yen treat as criminal offense. Nemum conflict there, nya conflict is same. Obi di money and treat ni pana odi money no say a crime crime is soon expiring date. Lawyer Edeju Tamaklo.
I want to use your esteemed platform. To urge the good people of Mamprusi and our brothers the Kusasis that we beg them, whatever it takes to find peace, let them do that. Why do I say so? The antecedents of this crisis are as old, possibly as Ghana. But we need to make progress. And that is why I want to thank Otumfuo Osei-Tutu, the Asante-Hene, for the work he has done over the years, over the period, in ensuring that protracted chieftaincy dispute outside the Ashanti enclave or territory, he had intervened strategically to bring peace. I mean, we're all aware of how protracted the issues in Dagmo were. But for the intervention of Otumfuo, today there's so much peace. at least in the past almost 10 to 11 years, there had been relative stability in Dagmo. So I am very confident and hopeful that whatever the situation in Boku, within the Mamprusi Kusasi areas, there will be peace one day. I have young people associate with who are from these two major prominent tribes or ethnic groups, and you can see in them a genuine desire for peace. I need to also make this point clear. When you carry a gun or machete and you go to a secondary school and discharge that firearm into a school, thereby fatally wounding or student, that's not chieftaincy. No, that is not chieftaincy dispute. That is crime. So we need to draw a clear distinction between criminality and issues about what? Chieftaincy. What I do know is that the chieftaincy matter is before Nana Santehene.
Yeah.
That's what I know. What happened at Boku Secondary School is pure crime. Let nobody color it. What happened in the killing of the Kusasi chief of Ashanti region is crime. To mount a motorbike and kill a man in his house is not chieftaincy. It's crime. So the people who are engaged in those conduct are criminals, pure and simple. Look, the Nairi, very distinguished chief of this republic, will not send somebody that go and do such. Never. Zugra will never do that. So the people who are behind these issues of crime are nobody but pure criminals. I am excited that the IGP, the National Security Coordinator, the Minister for Defense, the Minister for Interior have all taken steps to ensure that they bring peace to Boku. Look, it is obvious that some people are trying so hard to, as it were, export the conflict beyond that enclave into Ashanti region. It is also looking clear that it does appear that there are some people who are not happy that there will be peace in those areas. Because why in God's name would you want to go and kill in Ashanti, knowing very well that is where Otunfo is, and he's trying this mediation. So it is clear attempt to derail the excellent work that Nana Santehene is doing. And that for me goes beyond mischief to plain criminality. Our law enforcement officers, and I need to point out this, nobody will be permitted under President John Dramani Mahama to attempt creating a state of insecurity. No, it's a narrative that some people want to build, but it won't work. President John Dramani Mahama does not have any personal interest in that conflict.
Well, fantastic one. You treating it as a crime. Yes. Excellent. And some lawyer edu jitamakulu akano. Boku na aba ensuma kwasase for se moko na mukoku eye mamprisi for. And a mamprisi hina owo eye na lirgu. One suma na yiri ni kwa for suma se mumpie na mukoku kwasase for. By chitafo na ewe chiri no. Eni ko sen kwasase for ni wuye. Ti ade echi a wose mamprisi for ewu. Na equalize na ye draw. And na de a free If you module school. Yatena ho saa o. Ama every fie mu e through school dem. School dem so wo kwa. Ko sa asofo ho. Man polisi fo ho. Eye Ghana fo. Enti ye ko ne san. Ye mo be kunkum ho saa. Ese yese da anajo anwumere 7. Motorbike nso on tra so e wo Boko. Nyampiri wanye nsan. Ai, anajo 7 no wada. No asori an passes ya. Enya nyim na mo benyem. Say school for kwalai. Ebe yo mo den. Nti modwena motrase ya menuanom man polisi ne kusa asefo. Mo am sha kira mo yes awudi sem no. Motrase ase na mo fili. Now you will not do it. Now you will not be happy say what na say so. Now better say you couldn't crofo kun obi. Boko na amba will not be happy. Say what Boko no better say yakọ classroom akoko kusa asefo na man polisi fo. Aba adai menuanom aba kusa asefo ware man polisi fo ware kusa asefo ye nyina ye nuanom ba ko pe. Dear Benti ni intimate transi hunu say emre no yako ache ye fa tuo no nwu ho ye fa agya no nwu ho ye smoke peace pipe na ye ko yenim said your first edwadie koso mafo beto na ntwe mponche ma mu beto eye muka ne se wole se kahuro na Boko mafo kosan kasi ko didwa udu Boko pusiga zebila nkonfam yi nkukoyi confirm kosu yi utime say businesses e koso eneni nyina atiagu banks e wo nyina obi afri ho hospitals nyina ye obi ko wa osuro and now the post no transfer say wo de ne ko Boko a ahwe ye oba resign immigration officer how de ne ko wa ahwe oba resign ko bebre na no moku immigration officer timi pieso okwa akoto aduane na o te kai ma pay ni ekono police officer timit na be bi okoto we okọ highways bi okoto eye bi kebab bi obeti apay ni ekono adan aba adan sasa le se chondo amani mama o se Ghana fo bo se oba asumdue baba Boko yenim de obetumi aye Ghana fo wujidie wo mu especially me ametia mi wujidie wo mu mi wujidie wo Dr. Omanebo Amamu defense minister mi wujidie ewo eye menua eye muntakamu interior minister mi wujidie ewo the current IGP not that part time ni bi the current IGP say menua eye COP Osman National Security Coordinator ye nei ya ye nua eye Limuna Minuru former Greek minister wono so abeka ho ewo ho Batman mo no ene eye Mr. Ken mo National Security foi nim se mo betimi abo amasum ya Boko COP Kofi Boache retired operations in charge of operations office of the president nim se mo betimi amasum ya Boko ana areho sometimes obeda be sorry esi tan nipa 4 awu nipa 5 awu timi ku akoma pemfo kuma akum obi awawo akwada I mean etua nufo tua na no utwitu oku nipa wo bisa wo bekosa utwitu oku nipa wo firi sa wo gi nipa nko firi ni nsama wo bekosa yes imagine so obi aye obone kwa na otumi utwitu oku nipa na wo gi nipa nko firi ni nsama wo firi sa ye kopon de bechawo Enfant chawo de biara da bibia ye bia mum ye hwani ye o mum ye hwani ye etutrasam no mum ye hwani ye me de maka say advice am me de be man say motorbike na ye say Kumasi Asamase ebo no so a mamon traso no me de maka say whole Ghana motorbike bia ye register ye bia mo chiri nyina ngu dem yes ene okada fuoi okoto moto no kwa opa on register now what did prove wonam ha we osu heya wonam ha osu heya moto yi hu number bia wache wo bo so ma pega ni mu no prove no helmet otumi nya we awa abruche yesi ye tutu niam yi pa na dey register ya dey system no mo ye dey Food and Drugs Authority for kwa say product to be buy say product to be unregistered no ye beto no market no ye dey yes sako ya kwhye no unregistered. If it must be done, it must be done well. It's a Celeste Okasai way back in December 2024. Yeti sema ode to Ghana for him.
There's no chieftaincy conflict in Boku. There cannot be two kings in one kingdom. Every government recognizes that the overlord of Boku is Naba Abugago Asigri II. And that's why I say there's no conflict, no chieftaincy conflict. And so peace in Boku is going to be my priority when I become president. And all of you know that when NDC comes, there will be peace in Boku.
Very well. It is Excellency John Dramani Mahama, 2024 Boshe no. And His Excellency, you be make sure say Sabo na wo share no. Ebe ye adwuma. You be make sure say Sabo na wo share no. Ebe ye adwuma. And ye nyina ebe support o na wotimi ayedai e deliver. As President of the Republic. Ye nim de obetimi aye. Into say nipa bi na taachire ana omo ye o ma adwene say omo ba say o my way dia sankofo no omo nkoda. Yes. Dr. Omanebo Amane eye mutaka ene eye National Security Coordinator eye Alhaji Osman mo enye agro no mo ba bedi o. COP Kofi Boatemo enye agro no mo ba bedi o. Eye serious business. Security is one area, such a strategic area no you play politics e ho. Mo fa mo andi sine mo MPP o. Mo ma esumdwe nya dan emra boko. Yes. And may happy. Safra sine timi tuka ni akwa boko akwa ye business no. Asumdwe betimi aba boko na boko asafo ne to mapa efra. Ye wanuane mo yakosa asefo. Ye wanuane mo ya mamprisifo. Ye nyina to sa didi. Dia ne to kwa bi. Iti bako wona kosa asefo ne mamprisifo nkwa na oboko. Aba. Muma sumdwe mra o. Muma sumdwe mra. Ye timi ma boko tokwa no. Mo so sa medur kumase. Edu asawase abehu ana ate ahyaman. Eni se esi. Da ena wo mu kunsan ana we mu su kunsan enu a wo mu kunsan ana we mu su kunsan. Common sense. Mum ya dressing so anyansa. Ko na ati classroom na pepe ya koku wo. Nonsense. And then your first morning na imagine. Yes, you treat tuo no ekunipa no wo tu ano. Bible say no atwese kan no. Do treat tuo no. Mo be steady. Well, now no you call and accountability series where the capacity attorney general Dr. Dominic Ayene utumi nyan time ede nsema esisi ye o Ablikomanov abato ye omokoto ye ewo polling stations makoma ko 19 no utumi di munchichi mu ye den ebae na ECG nso missing containers no so no okay bibi efa ho na Dr. Kwabnado for and 7 others ya chese abai chese on 12 masem so bi mu no and so okay bibi efa ho you take your time na inti nesema odi to edwa ene
Now, with respect to Abdul Kumanov, the arrests have been effected, and you know that when arrests have been effected, you don't go straight, to court. You need to conduct an investigation, prepare a docket, and then you proceed to charge. So that is taking place, and we are taking a very serious view of all electoral, violence. Okay, violence arising out of or in connection with all elections in this country. So for us, it's very comprehensive, and the president has, made it very, very clear that it doesn't matter which side of the political divide you belong to. We will investigate and prosecute, all of them. Now, when it comes to the illegal mining, prosecutions are taking place. Okay, we are prosecuting. In fact, we have decided that we are setting up more special courts. Okay, under the New Patriotic Party government, the former Chief Justice Eni Yeboah, designated certain courts as special courts for illegal mining prosecutions. Okay, so we are going to expand those ones, and then also when the tribunals bill, the public tribunals bill, is ready, I have submitted it to Parliament. We'll be sending a lot of them to the public tribunals at the district level for prosecution all over the country. The misconception being spread by certain elements, certain citizens, to the effect that Dufour and his family were basically looting, resources from the bank, is misplaced. Okay, these were all related entity transactions. Okay, and I will encourage all of you. You should probably read the Beige Capital Court of Appeal decision, because the scenarios are the same. All right, so they were insisting that, look, if these are properties held by related parties, simply just transfer them to Unibank, and then you will have you would have recovered enough to be able to satisfy the liability. But that was something that was in dispute in the case. Okay, now with this settlement, it brings all those matters to rest. The missing containers investigation, I was given a preliminary report on it. Okay, I reviewed the report and I sent it back to the Director General CID to do further investigations. I directed them, and that is what we do in the office. When we read an investigative report and we see gaps, because all that a defense lawyer needs to do is to raise reasonable doubt, okay, and then the case will be thrown out. In order that we prevent a situation where reasonable doubt is being raised, we seal the gaps before we charge the people, and we have sent it back for them to be to do further investigations.
Well, like I say, accountability series course so Jubilee House, the seat of the government, and the doctor Dominic Ayene. Live on TVS was it, and also on Power 97.9 FM inside politics in Wasugusua, Wutie, and every with a town colleague Biga Mugabe, Masi, the capacity man. Very well, and a Monday, you call Dr. Amponsa, one year and a chonkomo, and you see pe, ne sim kunya, na to me a baby, we be in Simon, am I in a half 1 year and a T4
1.7. Yanni Mustapha Bandi ending in Como, or your Deputy General Secretary, Eddie Ma. NDC amanyukono agemos me wache
so Ambassador Kwame Tikase
majosu yona na emaba wunchen de matie nie se amanyukono mo akwakohia na mo aye nhihye se wo mo a His Excellency Reverend John Dramani Mahama Nadaroma wa ma post bia no se we YouTube, we organize, we Bibian for post to sanity.
Yo, I'm saying, my father was to Krumaka, that you could see it. Baba Bommy, we see no me on a pay. Now, I'm saying, no, you could share party, a National Executive Committee meeting. Samba kwa be pimu said okay na on say Omanpenyi eye bibia eye novelty. The winnie Omanpenyi decided that he will explore human resource experience at what party. So most, and for the first time, most of party executives right from grassroots, constituency level, national, and they are appointed one into government. It's a different thing from the past. NDC penny na appointing. This time, most of the appointments came from 7 officers of the party, which is a good thing because Obia wako kum upon wako president.
Wako ahayo.
Wako ahayo no kum akrantie no. You don't anya pe ni ekope abro abeman di.ed. So but also the thinking is that political parties are a war machine. Even though they are entities, these organizations must always be ready, functioning strong enough to be able to win any competitive race as far as elections are concerned. So they've been the consideration, say, okay, one more, point to one more free party positions into government, you know. Say, na party no timi na juma na government also I do ababa mu se boa manpanyi no ontetere man no wetimi a contribute the required and expected output input to help the president fulfill his vision and build a country. Indra koya debate in terms of the various school of thought considerations. And the end there was a very illustrated scenario. Majority leader, I think all of us stood on that. He said, we should give it some time and think through and study the implications more. Now, I said, party no be koswa na juma na aban so atime na juma. The interesting thing is that Omanpenyi did what he did because of the he said the party must be close to the grassroots. Now, regional secretary. Now, what about regional minister? You would have already served as a regional secretary. You know the region properly. You know the terrains. You know the demographics. It becomes easy for you to function as a regional secretary, other than Obia, Afe ni Adeneba, or Obibisase, Bian contact coin wahe, Obibisase half a coin wahe. But you already know the ground. You would have been to all of the places. You are more familiar with the problems of the terrain, so it becomes easy. And at the political side, you would have been known by your party people when they want to assess your office. It becomes easy. And the same applies to all other positions, functional executive and executive members. They are appointed to them. It also gives the leverage, say, party officer, now, and I'm so what a muja now one who didn't wear an agency. I'm paying near my Juma class, now we and so nobody give it Trialka. A Trialka. Saturday, sorry, Unya by Juma now for your party, Juma. What do salary bed and bet me up for now on Juma? And so we are considering all of these scenarios. A general secretary, national chairman. Almost in it, he said, they don't belong to any of the school of thought, but they think that we should discuss it and come to a certain conclusion with the matter. Into my instructions that the parties at the regional level should go back. Woman could share constituency for woman, so woman discuss it at that level, so that in our next meetings the issue will be tabled again for consideration.
Now, but when are you? Na mama musa de we no eye branch ka ho afa constituency ka ho regional na say eye national nko a
reach from constituency to national.
Oh, okay.
Now even the positions no kura no and no general secretary national chairman actually mu anye appointees na affected woman. There are some category of appointments when you have received that appointment, conventionally, you ordinarily would have to resign. That is what has been happening in the past. But because these mass, novelty, we must consolidate the vision of the president in taking that decision, thereby finding ways to get the party to function properly. And but to say we are DC now, we are constituency secretary and our organizer. You are the president at that level in terms of decentralization. Who represent to my opinion. It become practically impossible. Say, secretary so my free meeting, now secretary of this assembly meeting. On so we are trying to see how the system can function well. The other school of thought are so we are secretary, now we are DC here. So deputy or so I didn't know how deputy function. Now on to party, you man report to mouth so that we come. So there are various scenarios consider, and there are various appointments that have been considered. Maybe you're saying almost that because I live between government and party,
okay. Now, my main way, where you are moving, and no constitution, no sank over and carry a straightforward, said your constitution can be made, and answer where you novel to say the Okan.
One was President Muhammad, the first president, in fact, in the history of this country, what bomb what they are 20 party for the door. Our reward party for baby.
Yes.
So it's one, a novelty. Two, institutions like the NDC, learning from my superiors, is not only run by constitution. The institution is a living entity. And as people continue to increase and day by day time changes, there must be policies and decisions that organs of the party can do or can take for the betterment of the entity. And this is one of such decisions. The Constitution itself mandates in cases like this, we should go back to Functional Executive Committee meeting, mute the idea. A committee, National Chairman and General Secretary, set up committee headed by some few national executive colleagues. I want to consult to a detail and the report and that report is required to go before National Executive Committee, which involves the region, majority members in Parliament, reps, and appointees. So it's not really a constitutional matter, but it's a matter that can be remedied with this particular procedure also. The other ones who feel say, okay, I didn't know Yama will be a anchor. Now in the next 1 year, election now a rule say, we are appointee won't even contest the election there. By that time, you have served your term as a party executive prior to your appointment here. The amount you would have finished serving that a year. Or the party any fee. So they are
I see. Another development where the farmer party no the ben mo be shians na mo adwendwe ho na come to a conclusion.
The yes no as study see no atitene for no penny for this say given the we woman region for no woman constituency for no and casa. Woman input to honum so that by the next 1 or 2 months I bet here be no. Nanka, we have a vast consultative information I bet me aboa. Ama yehu babia yade asam ne beto a bebo apart.
I see. Na mamimra say what the development is so e koso e wo aha ba ko e say Dr. Kwabena Dufo Attorney General no ni na ye nhihye se sika na ekodi wo mo anaye o man sika no so tumi tuam 60% wo man no e be jai case no ana e be drop case na manaka ema wono so ene nkofo kan ho na iris no maye ema ehun sema e bebrebe matese Franklin kujukura ase ana ne emu at 100% isan say say na tie ena afei nipa bi e ka mra so say first you must be convicted na ye convict we are na mom ya kan kire say ye hold ana adin in suspension or in abeyance na mom ye hold in abeyance no a wo want me and triat say the koye bia ma case de na enumom ene ye plea bargaining process no ebe yadwuma nkobo we what to as a student of law it was saying
our government you see enye abrebia na ebe politics and the NPP must know that eduru baby a sabi mpredua ye de nyame so ebu ma na yeye na oye fa no ni ye de nyansa e de abata ho na ye de nipa ho do we have all ina nim say the banking sector clean up wa tenofurata di.ed no it was fraud. Not only fraud, but it was also flawed on the basis that one, banks here can afford or banks no or my compliance problems are or no koyen and of a comment. The higher
but there was a year a Sikafi Bank of Ghana by so recapitalize it. As Escano acquire Basantina or my G.
Capitalization is always good. But I'm saying, sir, the banks, we are not yet to say the banking sector cleanup was a bad decision. The way a manner they went about it.
Okay, so cleanup no ye bad. Saying justify the actions of the bank.
I'm not justifying, but I'm saying, sir, so uno u bank na abayan ni wuka, abayan triaka. Na ye say ye sika say wo bank no a new bank nti ye gunu na aban so ena ye obi a ode wo kapa. Do you think it's fair obi a ode wo ka so say wejuma? We have all come to, we have moved past this conversation. Ye nyina je tum say even the decision without considering the number of employees are displacing women and the difficulties that decision posed to people who have invested in banks, depositors, investments and kofaya, and they cannot get to their money. You agreed.
You know, sir, Sabia, we project work cry. You say a case study of this. I know you narrow say a buying and a this Free Bank of Ghana. Ama directors and board members of a bank say you who say they are on the verge of insolvency. In T sanity de among koyo and I establish say because before so you do say no omagia to say ampa there was an embezzlement of a sort. Na baby and confor when say I then the 100% ni nyina.
A moody 100% ni nyina says to 20% to say 60% to. And no idea this Attorney General and a answer because Attorney General and a power to undertake plea bargain and also exercise a knowledge protocol discretion. Now, conversation a cool between Attorney General and a suspect. No, Sebia, on your make aside, nke ma ho kwan Emma Attorney General Babontin Bekasa, it will give all of us enough basis, enough information. Okay. Run is our conclusion, but maybe you will be Samia. I believe so, we should find a way of restituting all the owners of the banks. Now, there are other places that our government say who could restaurant now, who could now baby sales can went to me in Tria. Yes, restaurant now in chance to say we can the best. So be the worker. One bezel fans. Na who can be so between ama nipanabwa, wabwa nipano, na wetimi ye jumetria oka. You rather advance towards that progressive method no than a method that won't give you anything. Now one more a prosecution and a jail will be who jail who does that mean the money will be paid back? But I also think that we should allow the Attorney General, who has a duty and the responsibility to explain his actions, either to the extent that he has taken that and it has a national security, a national interest matter. He should come and explain why, how, what went into the decision. Then, you contribute to the discussion because at that point, there is a lead information we can rely on to make commentaries. But at this point, the Attorney General has a decision, and this is not the first time such a decision has been taken. We've seen it and seen it happening from the Attorney General always. And we should be asking the Attorney General, I've heard say Felix Opozukwa Chika say, said, Attorney General will come out and explain that matter. And I'm sure that it will give us enough fundamental direct information that will enable our appreciation of the issue. But I think I'm a very happy man because a can be a befaswa that banks no you goon you did politics goon no na dunia bank the end you know other people banks me you goon. And what even gives me the evidence that decision was born out of bad faith in it was captured in a fraudulent document. It was all captured in that document, sir. Senanado be president Pepe. Yebegu UT Bank. Yebegu Dr. Kobne Dufo Bank. Yebegu other banks are omunye achim for na sikano. Ba ni sikanyina nko di achim for them. Me ba cho mo ba ye document like that. Me ba cho mo ba ye. Mo atimi ahwe mo ahun se bank no na etiapo anase na hangi wokwa. Mo ba mo atimi aye. Sadie no. And na me say for an Attorney General to get to this level, say what taking decision say what the same by between ajao, what the same by between ajao. It means that all these inquiries would have been made, all these investigations would have been made, so that the Attorney General is able to examine the effects of prosecution and the effects of a plea bargain. To come to this conclusion, it means that some work have gone down. And now, Attorney General will have enough information to comment. Me saying, baby, Attorney General also Ambassador now OKFME. You don't have access to all the information that has led to the conclusion of the Attorney General. I've heard people make commentaries yesterday to the extent that a knowledge protocol is not even good, and then why not 100%? Why not 70%? Why 60%? When the Attorney General comes to speak, and I think that when issues like this come, will take his decision. Okay. Explaining what has gone into the issues, so that we don't drink the soup while the food is still on the fire. But my fundamental opinion is that I think that I support any decision that will help Dr. Kwabena Dufo a very experienced former Minister of Finance of this country.
Former governor.
Send a track record is one of competence. Or yet former governor of the Bank of Ghana. The track record was competence. Then if there's an opportunity to redeem an avoidable crisis, I think that I support that decision.
Okay. Now, Mamusa, no more castle being management. Say, most chairman general of your party, you were saying that you want to GMPC Ghana Post and Harbours Authority chairman. Need you come one now?
An offer with my elbow on the bank.
Say, we are discussing ya.
An offer with ya. What the name Quaco discuss is as him win. And she opens here immediately. Now, said I order.
Mama Kuria Chow, Kruay, and Chow.
A charmer for crowd.
Yeah, we are quite ye. Yes, some more quite ya. I'm more prepared for by-election. Electoral Commission for a day to mine. I know to me any day.
Oh, what fact? So you a friend then. Ablekumanofi. The MPP for a time for crowd.
Yeah, we are quite ye. Yes, some more quite ya. I'm more prepared for by-election. Electoral Commission for a day to mine. I know to me any day.
Oh, what fact? So you a friend then. Ablekumanofi. The MPP for a TSM. Hey, one me buya en wakotia. One me tuturu wakotia. One mu di sika ambe kwa wakotia. Asamu a meka anu a obakwame. Ye be twema no kosi simi na so me be pa acho. Mekai sa da na no pese ya na me no.
Ewa he ya.
Enne MPP executives ashemu kna. One mu di fertilizer tumu a one mu kan yiye. So one mu di sika ni ntuo. Ye be kunipa wakotia because one mu abu nipa wa ablekuma. Enya, yes, you, yeah, the MPP, Enna, more MP, even though so a union. One more call Congress and put none year. 1 minute silence and Pomentinia observe it in honor of that particular individual. Now, the committee will observe 1 minute silence in honor of him because he's a young man. Na obia ayewo ufie no. You are the one shouting and drumming war. Say, yenya ye ba ba jam wo yie no ye ba wo ba bo yen. E na akotiafo na wo mu wo fo no. Omo nte bone NDC MPP a wo mu akotia entokwa ni wo mu ntem. Wo mu sori dabida enhwe moja. Na mu ahowo a mu ba be ko election wo hodo mu se mbo ko hwe moja enti e ko ne akoko hwe na nkrantem be ni MPP for the akoto ho whilst we are waiting for the date say if it is say parliament through EC every declare by election that bia ye ko akoko hwe MPP for once kan ne nkrantem ni ntuo no a wo de be ko no wo ma started the kwa na wo nko you see overcome NDC way any party are threatening Wamu. And let the MPP know. Let them know, sir, the current crop of people leading the NDC are not people you threaten, intimidate, and believe that you can use bravado and all sort of shenanigans to intimidate. We constitute a threat ourselves. NPP should not have the effrontery to threaten anybody. Yeah, ready. Yeah, we will go. If they declare the election, the leader of the party who is the president, the national chairman of the party, and the general secretary decides that the NDC will participate in that election. The only motive the NDC be kwa kotiane say ye kwa kope wo mo chow na omo tuaba ama an NDC candidate because akotia honum no NDC for we need that MPP for so we need that so the balance of probability say any party can win is very high but the NDC is in a possible lead because there's evidence of good governance That is Nanado's region. MPP4 has a responsibility to go back and pinpoint to say, in fact, Atiwa, but the President Nanado free at the back of Tiano, a 1 hour drive. MPP4 would have to show 8 years and Nanado baby president, and then the Western War, a whole more. You bet me a cafe. MPP party, no. Woman fast for woman the free MPP, and Nanado 8 years, no. You would have to show. Akwatia udra and Sumpo Munyabi no manum. Koko, Ukoa, most of the people there are Ewes and then the locals. And a mine in Koko Nwamuye. Koko Jumai, a good honum. What is the MPP going to say? Say a quine Wamuye or ye, and now say toilet no more see. And now factory bin no more see 8 years. Yabeka and another backyard in ye. One more toward the MPP, Chiria Bessine, and Pasua Omunya. There is nothing like that in Akotia, MPP for the business. And I say, Brabonine Subambonia, Omudine, even as a political party, a betting in net. Near Monday, yeah, Muamu party for 8 years, I come the woman. Woman to him 7 months in your own loose election. And to me, who say, my uncle grassroots, Yanko power macho. Me and you do one cafe. You buy ya mobra pack. Nemum, a chance to move yet. Not grassroots, them fancy warm. One more thing kind. And one more beaty war drums. And one more chatting for senior you and ye behu chale. Yet, Ejinaso, Ejina Yana Swa. Yaquako yet a year, Yahe. Said the election, no, send election about Yania Kotia for betting me a dinner. That is what we are doing. Unko Power Bar, patch on our deco. Umfa Akata Bensa Munko. Takotia for Pentoqua. MPP4, Ebetre Womo. Takotia for a woman, woman. Ah, one more for years. And Tokobia and new woman. Now, MPP executive, top officials, Nana B, National Youth Organizer. And one more checking to one brother Kuni Power. I got here for also only a best man who in fear.
And your mamma was an anopay.
Yamin Sao, Masada.
Miss Mandasi. Ora Mustapha Bandi, a Deputy General Secretary of the NDC.
Inti sanity. Daddy Lumba de you be at CB Brucibi Nado. Will live life. In fact, life will live no. Ubi intimi mfa no and toto papano. Yeka musica ubi a obonyum Jane ubi a obobi obo gospel obo adedem obo high life hip hop crowd obo pen and then me tie ni nnum bi a obo no in German obo ni Germany kasemu tie me say wow, what a musician, a legendary Charles Kodu Fusu. In fact, now he indeed a true musician because uti nyuma o boy ewo German kasemwa Ghana hayeti binom kra se omudi Ghana kasa ebonyom no kra no sen is 5 na or the different language nyene kasa different country kasa ekobonyom. But this man called Charles Kodu Fusu uti the German song now ubetimi hu se ampa urawi. He was not just a musician, but then he was an institution for music. Appeal kakra na meyɛ, and I hope say Yura John Dramani Mahama, by now decision has been already taken for that. We are praying and appealing to them, say they will give this man a befitting burial, a state burial. Mahumine yi, mama yenye ni ibe bia, aba mo nkyɛn ne deɛ, mama yɛmfa mmrɛsa nyi so kwadwe mate menka ne, momfa me nnwom ni mo ho arusie saa, ni makramo, ebia na manhu bio, afi sisi a mobɛhyiahyia no, ebia na menka mo ho, na ne ɛne na aba no, afi sisi mobɛhyia no, na Daddy Lumba Charles Kojo Foso, na woni yɛ mo bio, na wadane dɔteɛ, what a life. Ɛdeɛn na akaka bi nsɛm yi, ɛdeɛn ne sɛbi, mungyaa me. Ɛdeɛn na akaka bi nsɛm yi, ɛdeɛn ne mungyaa me, ɛdeɛn ne moma menyɛ sei, ɛdeɛn ne momfa wiase ma me, ɛdeɛn ne wiase wei mentene menyɛ sei. Wonim me, wonim baabi a mefiri, wonim fie a metim, wonim adan a mewɔ, wonim kasa mewɔ, wonim agyapadeɛ a mewɔ, wonim sometimes nipa yi nim yɛ dabre mu a ɛnka yɛngyegye nneɛma mmɔ yɛ bo. Wɔmbrɛko a wowu a w'ataadeɛ hyɛ wo yi koraa no, wɔn bɛtwitwa mu na wɔde ahyehyɛ wo ho. Ɛnni na ɛnu ni nansa, ne nyinaa bɛsɛe. What a life. Abrabɔ wei, ɔma yɛmfa ɔdɔ, ɔma yɛmfa ɔdɔ. Ɔdɔ ɛyɛ adeɛ a yɛhia. Ɔdɔ ɛyɛ adeɛ a yɛhia. Let love lead. Ɛnyɛ obiara o. Nyankopɔn to wo nsɛm a, boa nua. Nyankopɔn ɛma wo biribi a, menhu sɛ wo nua sɛbi ɔno deɛ Nyankopɔn tan no. Hwɛ hu sɛ ɛyɛ favor bi na asonsoɔ. Hwɛ hu sɛ ɛyɛ Nyankopɔn adom bi, ɛyɛ grace bi ɛna wo nso asonsoɔ. Yɛmmɛgye hwee wɔ asase wei so. Da biara nipa titiri anaasɛ nipa bi wu wɔ kurom ha a, sei a na da biara yɛka. Ɛnni na ɛnu ni nansa, na yɛasan akɔ yɛn tibea dadaada mu. Awurade mma yɛn ahoɔden na Charles Kojo Foso ne wo yi deɛ ɛntumi mfa new revolution ɛmbrɛ ɔman Ghana nyinaa, nkwadaa mpanyinfoɔ, nkɔkora mmerewa, na tebea bi a yɛwɔ mu a ɛnyɛ no, ɔnsa yɛ na ɔmfa nka bom. Ɔdɔ, nteaseɛ, amammuo pa ɛne sɛbi amanyɔ pa ɛmbrɛ ɔman wei so. Amen. Media na mɛga Nyankopɔn nkɔ so a ɛnhyira wo makra wo bibia. Me deɛ menya nkra mo sɛ meekɔ, na mmom makra wo for now. Yɛbɛsan the next news abra mo. Bye bye.